I think I met just about everybody in the room, but those who I have not met, my name is Marlow Colvin, State Representative from Chicago. My district literally is the southeast corner of the city of Chicago. Yeah, I represent communities that I know most of you who live in Chicago, from the Hegewisch area on the east side or what have you. It goes all the way over to Cottage Grove. But I border Indiana. I'm one of the few representatives in the General Assembly who have the privilege of bordering another state, and I don't mind admitting it. I come over here and buy gas all the time. I was at a gas station on Sheffield. It's at Amico Station, not too far from here. And the guy pulled out his camera phone and he said, "I got to get a picture of this." We have these plates on our car that acknowledge us as state representatives. He said, "I got to get a picture of this." He was like, Illinois State Representative buying gas. So I was like, well, you know, the gas I pay for comes out of my family budget just like yours. And in this country right now, with the prices of gas and the price of transportation goes up, so does everything else go up. So for every dollar you can save in the Colvin household is a dollar saved. So I can save a few bucks on fuel. I do come to Indiana every week to buy my gas and my Ford Explorer. Exactly. Having said that, I've been in the General Assembly now for 7 years, since 2001, and it's been a great experience. And what it's really allowed me to do is get a chance to work with a lot of different people from all over the district, from all over the state, quite frankly, who are doing a lot of special things in our communities, of which is this organization right here. And I will tell you, through the efforts of people like Michael Booz and others Mr. Ramirez, who reached out and invited me to be a part of the different efforts, whether they be environmental, whether it be social or health care. I think that's when we first met, when you were working on a diabetes program on the southeast side of Chicago. And had a chance to work with you guys and bring resources back to these communities. But as a politician, we don't get a chance to sit on a mountaintop somewhere and decide what's best for our communities. It works best when those who are doing special things in our community make us aware of them, and we get a chance to work with them. Mike and I were talking before the meeting started a couple of years ago when I first found out about your program here. Had a chance to come over here and visit and some of the things that you do during the winter over at Wolf Lake and what have you. And I thought this was one of the organizations that deserved the type of support that we could bring back from Springfield. And so we helped them with a $25,000 grant so that they can expand some of their programs, making children more aware of what clean water is all about, dealing with the environment, and making sure that it's safe and available for everyone to enjoy. But part of our problem in Springfield over the last few years is, and those who follow the newspaper on both sides, it's hard to ignore all of the infighting and the problems we've had in Springfield. And as a member of the House of Representatives, working under the Speaker of the House, Michael Madigan, and our governor, who, in my own personal opinion, has not proven himself to be a very good leader, a very good steward of government. And it's been unfortunate. And it has led us down a path where wherever you find, a lot of infighting, engagementship, and one-upsmanship, and one trying to outdo the other, what gets lost in all of that are the people that we're trying to represent, our communities. And I can tell you our communities need so much, whether it be social, whether it be health care, whether it be crime and punishment, whether it be after-school programs, education funding, all of these items have kind of taken a back seat to all of the fighting. And I put that in the context, and the reason I mentioned that grant is it's caught up in part of that battle. That grant has still not been appropriated. Here we are, a full 2 years later, and it's still caught up in the politics of Springfield and the infighting that has taken place. Our governor poses himself as a fighter. Someone, and I don't think he even gets motivated until he has someone that he can pick a fight with to engage himself. And the one thing I think that a statewide leader has to be is he has to be a person who convenes people. He has to be someone who brings people to the table to sit down and understand that art of the deal, the art of negotiation in politics is never winner take all. It's always, when you sit down with an adversary or a friend, it is, how can we work to make each other whole? How can I accomplish the things that I want to do as governor, and also help State Representative Marlow Colvin help his communities? It's my opinion, again, that the Speaker of the House, Michael Madigan, understands that. It's one of the reasons he's been there 30-something years. When I went to him and asked him to help me with this grant and others that I try to help with, it has always been his response that, of course, Marlow, he doesn't try to tell me how to run the 33rd Representative District. Quite frankly, that's your job. It's to come to me and say, these are the things we need to be kept whole, to function, to help children understand the environment and nature and wilderness and the importance of clean water so that we can all enjoy it. Those are the lessons that I've gotten from this group. The Southeast Environmental Task Force, another group that we've tried to help with different grants to do different projects and programs. Those grants are tied up in the state budget as well. And on the issue of the environment, let me say that it is, quite frankly, no other groups, AWLI, SETF, have really made me understand the importance of protecting our environment so that all of us can enjoy it. I grew up on 82nd and Blackstone, the Avalon Park community. I was in the park every day, enjoying, the grass and the trees and playing baseball and all those things. Never realized how much energy and effort people put in to protect those green spaces, to protect the waterways. I can remember coming over to Wolf Lake and fishing with my dad on the banks with a lot of older gentlemen, and we sit there with poles and we play, my brothers and I, while the older men would fish, and they would catch all types of fish. Never really understanding all the hard work and effort it takes to keep those waters clean so that people can fish there and eat those fish and come back year after year to enjoy it. The great thing, again, about being an elected official at the state level is that you get a chance to deal with so many different facets of government. I want to make you aware, because I know most of you know someone or probably have at one point worked at the Ford plant on 130th Street. There was a bill in Springfield, for example. There was a bill in Springfield dealing with clean car technology. And it was presented by a state representative who deals with a lot of environmental issues, dealing with this particular bill, dealing with laws that mandate that Ford and other car manufacturers in the state of Illinois produce cars that meet the California emission standards by 2010. And Ford was very much against the bill because it would have forced them to get beyond their timetable to meeting those federal guidelines. Ford is on a path, like GM and Chrysler and other car companies that produce and sell cars in this country, on a timetable to make their cars more fuel efficient and to burn cleaner fuels. And I work very closely with the people at Ford, understand what they're doing. I've been opposed to the bill because Ford has shown me clearly that they're moving toward that, and they're following the federal guidelines. And I didn't think it was fair for the state to try to assert what the federal government had already laid out for these companies that generate millions, if not billions, of tax dollars, employ thousands of people. On the southeast side of Chicago, as I go to Hegwish and Bush and the east side, there are generations of people who worked in that Ford plant. And to force Ford to invest millions of dollars in a period when the car industry is struggling to survive at all. Anybody seen GM stock price? It's less than $4 right now. It's less than $4. Ford is around $3.50. So they're teetering on the brink of disaster. In fact, Ford has made an incredible investment to keep that plant open. They retooled it. They built 3 cars on the same assembly line. And it's fascinating how their engineers have retooled those lines to produce 3 cars at the same time, 425 cars a day, rolling off that line, including their little Lincoln flagship automobile. The success of Ford worldwide depends heavily in part on the success of that plant on 130th Street. So giving them an opportunity to survive is also important. But again, those are environmental issues that are very important to the southeast side of Chicago, and very important to me, and very important to you, economically as well as environmentally.